This is the fastest and most realistic way an artist can go from 0 to 100,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. My name's Chris, also known as the Artist Manifest. I have about 500,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, and I coach artists every single week in our coaching program, Fanbase University. To hit 100,000 monthly listeners, you need about 15,000 streams per day across your song catalog. So really, all you need is 15 songs getting about 1,000 streams a day, or 30 songs getting 500 streams a day. Even easier, right?
That was easy.
So I set up an ad campaign promoting a song that was over 2 years old, and it was only getting like 100 to 200 streams a day, and we scaled it up to over 2,000 streams. I started off with a budget at about $10 a day, and then slowly we raised that to just under $100 a day. So for just under $100 a day, we were getting over 2,000 streams a day, and that's just on that one song, because we targeted a playlist so that all my other songs in that playlist got a lift. So you're looking at probably about 2,500 streams a day we were getting approximately, and that doesn't include YouTube, Apple Music. So let's imagine that once I've got 2,500 streams a day on one song, what if I did that for 2 more songs, and now I'm spending 300 a day? That would get me to 7,500 streams a day. Now, of course, I'd have to scale up to that. It's not just going to flick a switch. That might take a couple months, but then eventually my Spotify monthly listeners are going to be around 40 to 50,000 streams. And now what I have is I have leverage, because now I can open other doors with those 40 to 50,000 streams, and we're already halfway there. Because you see, there's only 3 things that can open doors for you in the music industry: money, a hit song, or an audience. And now you have an audience, and hopefully you have a hit song, because that leads us to the next strategy, which is reaching out to collaborations, right? Like now that you have 40 to 60,000 monthly listeners, you should be reaching out to people that have like 70 or 80,000. And you do a collaboration, and you send them the song, and you get them on your song as a primary artist feature. And now for the next 3 months, maybe you release a collaboration with each one of those artists. And now your streams go from maybe 40 to 50 to 70 or 80, right? And we start stacking the success. And so when you want to reach out for a feature, you want to make sure you don't DM them too soon. And you want to say, hey, love what you're doing. Would love to do a collaboration with you. How much do you charge? And maybe you either pay, maybe you do a split of the master and the publishing, or maybe you do just a 50-50 on something like that, or you just pay them outright. But when it comes to getting a collaboration on your song, don't send the song too early. Nobody wants to hear a rough demo. They want to hear a really polished song and you having a vision for that song and say, hey, I'd love you to sing the verse, I'd love you to sing the chorus, or even help me collaborate and write on this, and then we'll bring you in on the publishing. But when you start reaching out for features, just understand that if you want to get one feature, prepare to reach out to at least to 5 to 10 people, and sometimes you got to follow up multiple times. Everything takes work. Now, let's just say you do all this work and maybe you're at 80,000 monthly listeners, maybe you're at 90,000, or maybe you did hit the 100,000, but we haven't even took into consideration level 3, which is you posting organic vertical content, okay? So I'm assuming you would be shooting a whole bunch of vertical content that you're posting on TikTok, you're posting on YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, and hopefully something takes off as well. Because remember, we're always creating organic content to hopefully it goes viral, but even if it doesn't, we're taking those best posts, and that's what we're using in our ad campaigns. So either way, you can't skip out on doing organic content. And let's just be honest, guys, like you can't control who's going to feature on your record. You can reach out, like we got denied by 3 or 4 people, and then we finally got an artist to feature on this song. And the TV film company that I wanted to work with, they were like, we're so glad that you pushed forward and you found another feature, because it took a lot of work and they could tell I was getting shot down on some things, but now the song turned out great. But it required me to, let go of the ego, don't get frustrated when I get turned down or it doesn't work my way, and push forward and get the feature. But I can't fully control that. I can't fully control whether a song goes viral or a post goes viral, even though some people say they've totally systemized that. But one thing we can control is running ads, right? Like we can put your music in front of people, right? And if that music is good enough, which that's in your control, you writing a great hit song, because Facebook, Instagram is smart enough to target people and know who's responding. That's like really the easy part. And then it just comes down to you having a budget and investing in yourself for the long term. Because let's just say, even if you were spending $300 a day for 30 days, that's $9,000. And to be honest, like you're not going to spend that in the first month. You're probably going to spend like maybe up to 100 a day for the first month, and you're slowly going to scale up. But let's just say all those streams are coming in. You are going to make some of that budget back on royalties. It's not going to be a lot, but you are going to eventually start making money. But this is the thing. Now, once you have the streams, you have the monthly listeners, and you have built a fan base, and you've also triggered the Spotify algorithm, because what we've noticed is when you run ads for over a month and a half, sometimes it takes a month, sometimes it takes a little longer. First, you're paying for the majority of those streams, but then the algorithm kicks in and it starts like covering half. At least that's what I noticed. When we started hitting that like 2,000, 2,100 streams a day, now like 1,000 of it was from us forcing Spotify's hand, right, through the playlist. And then second was just now the organic playlist, okay? The algorithmic playlist like Discover Weekly and radio started sharing the song, right? So there's a momentum effect that takes place, but you've got to be willing to push hard enough and long enough to see this happen, and it requires an investment, okay? If you don't got the money, well then, and you got the time, well then you got to spend your time in organic content and leveraging relationships maybe on a slower cadence. But this is one of the fastest ways you can get there. Nothing is easy. It's simple, but it's not necessarily easy, but you've got to put in the work. If you want help and coaching around this and setting this up and building out the strategy, join our Fanbase University community. When you get the annual, we'll work with you for a whole year as well. And then you also get a one-on-one coaching call with us to work strategically with it. I'll put the links below, and take action.